Hello, people. Oh, am I late today? I have to admit that technology is definitely not my friend. I'm going to flip over, get myself situated, and then flip over here. I think it's me now. I think. Nope, it's not. Why do... See, it still doesn't like me. Huh. Now, it should be me. You should be seeing me. Why is my phone offline? I love this stuff. Isn't, ugh. At the last minute, my computer on my laptop was doing some weird things. Yep, there we are. Okay. And I couldn't zoom in. I couldn't see. Oh, I gotta turn that down. I'm going to make sure it's flipping like it's supposed to. And I have my screen up so that I can see people's... Ah! There we are. Okay. This is Julie from Stampin' Julie. I'm live finally. Only about 40 minutes late. My computer... What happened was last week, my cat decided to lay across my laptop again. Usually it's not a problem, but when I tried to pull him off... He pulled, this is a button, it goes on top the camera thing. And ever since then, my camera's been having issues about zooming in, and then it shows some real psychedelic colors. And so it's been, I don't know, just pulling this off did something. So that took a while to get that. And then trying to get the camera up above to work correctly was even more fun. So, but we are here. Late, but we are here. So today I have a really cool watercoloring technique not using water. It's kind of neat, I don't know if it's been done. I couldn't find anywhere that it had been done by another demonstrator, so I'm not sure if anybody's ever tried this before. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to do a few things before we get to that. Today in Orlando, Florida, Stampin' Up! Is celebrating its 30th birthday with thousands of demonstrators. I so wished I could have gone. Oh, and I had all planned on going. I wanted to go so bad. But at the exact, and I had the money. It was so neat. But at the exact time, like about 3 weeks before we had to register, our big refrigerator, and I say our big refrigerator because we actually have 2 refrigerators. We have a little, like a compact one, it's like 3.4 cubic something, that we keep milk and drinks and stuff in, so we're not always getting into the big one. And then we have the regular size refrigerator in our house. It's so much. My husband used to be a truck driver, so he had this little fridge in his truck. And when he came on off the road, when I started having really bad health issues, we just been using it for drinks ever since. It was just so much easier than getting into the big one. So we started noticing that the big refrigerator wasn't keeping things as cold as it should have. And things were starting to spoil a little bit sooner than normal. And I knew it was starting to go. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be great. So, and then even to make things more exciting, because things happen in threes. Here's my cat, Sheba, who usually joins me. To make more things usually happen in threes. Actually, the little fridge went out first. And that was actually, completely just died. One day just died. And then, actually, I think... Oh, before that happened, the microwave went out. So we had to go buy a new microwave, especially because my brother was coming to visit us, and he only knows how to microwave things. So, he's a little bit mentally disabled. So, but he knows how to cook food, but just in the microwave. So we had to have a microwave for him, and his favorite thing is chicken nuggets. So we had to have a microwave for him. So we went and bought one of those. And then a week later, after he had gotten here, the little fridge went out. And we're like, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. And then I thought we were at Lowe's looking at the little fridges. We found, I'm like looking through the big fridges and stuff, knowing that ours was on its way. and we found one on sale. It was a great deal. It was like $1,000 off. It was a wonderful, wonderful deal. So I gotta turn my fan on. I'm getting hot. The wonderful thing of menopause, which I actually went through 20 years ago when I had everything removed due to endometriosis. But that's a whole nother story. So the money I had put aside to go to Orlando went to buy a big refrigerator. So it was kind of neat to be able to buy a big appliance before the actual appliance broke. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I so wish I was in Orlando right now with all my friends, all my team members, and my team leader Robin is there, and I've been watching all their lives because Stampin' Up! Is allowing them to share everything except the inside of the catalog, the Occasions catalog, which will be available to customers on January 3rd. I will get to post outside cover picture next week, and I'm excited about that. You probably have already seen some on Facebook, so I'm really thrilled. I've seen some items. We have a new stamp that's coming out. It's Cling Mount. No more of the red rubber clear block mount ones that don't stick, even though I found kind of a way around that. So there's this brand new one that's coming out. I'm so excited to see it. I can't wait to see the specifics on that. So it's kind of hard to, I'm looking at myself on the phone. So I have that banner down below. I'll turn that off when I get to show some things. But there was a couple things that Stampin' Up! Said was it the end of last week? There she is again. She wants her love because I'm sitting here talking to you. So, but last week Stampin' Up! Announced that there was 3 items that were going to be discontinued due to the fact, from the holiday catalog, due to the fact that the demand was so much that the manufacturer will not be able to get enough stock back in before the holidays is over. And so I have one of the items. The other 2 I didn't order because they were always on back order. Was the Farmhouse Elements. They're the cute little words. They're wood with a gray like paint over on them. They're really pretty. I can't remember the title. Let me look up real quick. It's the from the Signs of Santa thing. They are Santa's Workshop Enamel Shapes. Those have been discontinued. Those things have been extremely popular from the beginning. And also, I hope this doesn't shine too much. I can take it out of the thing. This is the Joyous Noel Specialty Designer Series paper. It had the gold foiled on it, and this stuff is beautiful, but this is gone as well. But what Stampin' Up! Has done is, back in September, we had a promotion for Dashing Along DSP, Designer Series paper, that went with the Dashing Deer stamp set and framelit bundle. You can do it either way. That if you ordered, if you had an order, whether a party, however, you know, family gave you orders, whatever, of $250 or more, you could order this paper, and that was the only way you could get it. So, so what they have decided to do is bring this paper back in response to the other paper selling out. So this is really neat paper. You get 12 sheets. You get 16 sheets. Oh, 12 sheets. You get 12 sheets. I'm trying to think, because you get 3 different designs, and you get 4 sheets of each design. And I have them cut up, so I'm just going to show, or some of them cut up. I'll use these 2 and this one. So they're really beautiful. I did have a promotion in September, so you can see there if you go back on my blog. But they had this really pretty star one, and on the back was a print, which was really gorgeous. This is Garden Green. And then they had this one that mimicked the design on the large deer on the Dashing Deer stamps. This one's really pretty. This is Cherry Cobbler, and on the back was the flower that matched one of the stamps as well. And then there was this pretty red Cherry Cobbler and white, Whisper White, like flowers. And then there was a beautiful garden green with a red stripe in between with Whisper White. And this paper is really beautiful, and I was so sad it was only available for 1 month, because when you're a demo, and not just a hobby dentist, and that's just somebody who gets it for the discount, it's recommended that, and you don't have to follow this if you don't want to, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's recommended that you not show product that customers can't get afterwards. And so once September was over with, you know, it's usually good practice for us not to show it after that. I think I did a card with it, and I don't think I have it available right now, but it was on my blog. It was the real cute one with the deer and the tag thing. So, but I'm really glad they brought it back so we get to use it again. But I'm really sad that the Joyous Noel one is gone, because that copper foil is just absolutely gorgeous. I had a drink. My mouth is dry. So, that was the news from Stampin' Up! Regarding products from that are no longer being, you know, their numbers won't even, you can put it in, I think it says it's invalid or something, yeah. They are going to fill, if you happen to have one of those 3 items on back order, they are going to fill all the back orders that they have. But the number is just inactive as of right now. So, what I want to do is, I want to tell you about my promotion again. You probably see it. I have it on every day that I have a new blog going up. I have it down below, so go check out my promotion. It's for this month. Stampin' Up! Is having the Snowflake Showcase. It's the Snow is Glistening, Happiness Surround, the trinkets, the Snowflake trinkets, the White Velvet DSP, which is so cool, and the Thinlets, the Snowfall Thinlets. And if you purchase through me, there's a link on my blog, Julie Kite, JuliKight.com, www.juliekite.com. There's a link on this page to go to it. If you purchase all 5 of the items, I will send you an exclusive class kit to make 3 of 2 different design cards, and there's sneak peeks on my blog of them. And I think I have it on my Facebook page as well. I will send to you for free just for ordering the 5 products, and you have to order all 5. Now, these are limited. The stamps, all the items. It's till November 30th, but if any item sells out before the end of November 30th, it's gone. So far, everything is still in stock, so luckily for that. But if chance something does sell out before that time, I will continue to run my promotion with whatever items are still available. So, but I will send to you a class kit, and then when I know your order is on its way and I send your class kit out, I will send you a link to a private YouTube video of me designing the cards, putting them together for you, so you can follow along and do it at your leisure. You can pause it, you know, whatever, to scrap along with me or stamp along with me. So that's kind of cool. So I just wanted to remind you of that. Next, I want to show you this card that went on my blog today. It's going to be kind of backwards, but and of course the lights are really, really bright because there's one right there. This is embossed, and boy, is that going to shine. There we go. Kind of. Oh, that light is so bright. But this is, it's a combination of Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, Gorgeous Grape, and just Whisper White and Gold. And it is so beautiful. I did some watercoloring on this and stuff, so go check my blog out to see. This one is really, really cool to see up close pictures of how I did this one. It is so neat. So let's get to what is going on with my phone. I think my cat may have walked on it. Let's get, hi Annette, so happy to see you. Have you been watching all the stuff from on stage? It is so cool, some of the things that they've been showing. So I'm really excited. I so wanted to go. So let's get to our watercoloring technique. Now, and this all came about because of a question I had from my team leader. So it was kind of cool. I keep my water. I have several of the spritzers that we sell online. I keep them, several things in them. The shimmer paint, I mix with a few drops of the shimmer paint with water. Shake it up, spray it. The card you'll see in a moment has this on it, and that, you know, spray across the background. You can die cut it out, whatever, but it's really cool. I keep them for a lot of things. Mainly it's to have alcohol and water in. And the reason I do that is because I have never found any spray bottle that gives me a finer mist of water than these things. And I have them labeled. It's going to be backwards and probably really shiny because it's all shiny. See, it says water, and this one says 91% alcohol. Now, the technique I'm doing today, I have not tried with the 70%. I like the 91% better because it just dries faster. And that's why I use that. So, my cat is clawing on things. Chiba, what are you doing? Oh, she's playing. She's playing with a die cut that she stole. So the technique I'm doing today is with 91%. I'm sure it will work with 70. I just don't know how slow the drying process is going to be. So, but I want to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen over. The technique I'm showing today is a technique that's used in a lot of scrapbooking called the packaging technique. And it's named that probably because you're using a piece of packaging, plastic clear packaging. Now, I prefer one that doesn't have the little holes in it for the air to be coming out, because you don't want it to leak through. But you can use any plastic packaging from anything you get. You know, the basic rhinestones come in plastic packaging. You know, any kind of clear packaging. I used to make and sell planner stickers, so I just have a ton of this around. But, and usually the larger the better because you want to be able to kind of cover your whole paper at one time. So you just need that. You need your Whisper White cardstock, your alcohol. I have water to show you what happens when you just use water, and your stamp pads. And I just chose 3 different colors. I have Balmy Blue, Lovely Lipstick, and Coastal Cabana. And I'm just going to show you the 3 different colors because there was actually a really cool thing happened when I did the Coastal Cabana versus the Balmy Blue. Alright, so I'm going to switch cameras. And it should, I hope. I'm doing this sight untouched. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, I see what happened. It failed. Why does it do that? Okay, we are now down here. Yay! And I'm going to go, and I'm going to take off my banner, because I know it's hard to see some things. Yay, we're down here now. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to show you is what happened. This is just basic Whisper White 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I've just cut it into quarters. So, I have plenty of paper towel. You need tons of paper towel. Trust me, because this can get messy. So, I have one to put beneath my piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to show you what the card, now the card's not all put together yet, but I wanted to show you the background, and it's probably going to be a little hard to see. I got to turn this light over. It's probably going to be, it's not attached to its background yet. My cat is not scratching on my chair. Chiba, quit. She's mad because I'm ignoring her. But hopefully, I'm waiting for my phone to catch up so I can see. Okay, so it's kind of hard. It's really hard to see the shimmer on the back. It's kind of a real delicate thing. But this marbling on the background is what I'm after today. Now, normally in the scrapbooking world, you would use a product called gesso. And what that does is you put, and it comes in white and clear, and I think there's a black, but I've only used white and clear. You brush it on your paper, you let it dry, and it acts as a sealant. There goes my cat. It acts as a sealant so that when you put your water and ink stuff down onto it, it doesn't soak through the paper. Now, because Stampin' Up! Does not sell gesso, I wanted to do something that gave me somewhat kind of the same look, and so I started thinking, I'm like, well, what happens if I used alcohol in place of water? So this is what we're going to do today. But first off, I want to show you what happens when you do use water on, I'm going to use Lovely Lipstick first, on just plain cardstock with no protection. So, I have this, I have this. Here is my piece of packaging. Okay, I'm going to put this down first. I'm going to make sure it's the side that's longer. And this is what you do for the packaging technique. You take your, and there's a cat hair. I can't not tell where on the packaging it's at. Oh my gosh, my life is not complete without cat hair in it. Whether it's stuck to my chapstick or it's all over my papers. Okay, So normally what you do in the packaging technique is you take, and you just, you know, push your, you know, your stamp pad onto there. And then you would take your water, and with that away because I don't want to ink my pad, or water my pad. And you would take your spritzer, and you would spritz the packaging with the ink. And normally what I do is I just take it and kind of, whoops, it's going to make a mess. Maybe a little too much water. And you just kind of do this and it smears around. And the reason this happens is because these pads are water-based ink. And so they respond, of course, really well with water. So I'm going to put this down. And normally what you do is this. And you can kind of touch it. Whoa, it's really stuck. You can kind of touch it. It works better on a big background. I think I put a little too much. You kind of touch it all over where you want it. And it gives this kind of really cool watering technique. Now, here's what is happening. I've got to clean this off. As it's drying, it is really soaking through my paper because there is no sealant on it at this point. And that's what I didn't want to happen. I need some water on my packaging while you guys are looking at that real quick. I gotta clean this. I can't use it again. So, clean this off. So as it's drying, it is majorly soaking into the paper, and it kind of ruins the integrity of the cardstock because, you know, water and paper don't mix. So when I was thinking about this, I'm thinking, well, what could I possibly use that wouldn't destroy my cardstock, but would still give me this effect? And as this dries, and it's drying actually pretty fast, you can see where it's really, really, really soaked into the paper, and it's gonna, yeah, I can actually see it really good on the back. So I thought, what would happen if I used alcohol instead? And I'm gonna set this aside to dry. So what I'm gonna do next, I actually think I need one more paper towel. It works a little bit bigger on a bigger surface if I have it all like this. Okay, there we go. That's better. So I'm going to do the exact same technique that I just did. Make sure you guys are completely in frame. Oh boy. Twist on words here. Move these out of the way so they're not getting soaked by the ink. Same piece of packaging. I just cleaned it off a little bit of water because the inks are water-based. I'm going to not put as much on this time. Exact same ink pad. I'm going to touch it down and not touch it down as much this time. And kind of make them go in different ways. You don't want this line effect on your cardstock. That's why you kind of smush it before you. Now, this time I am using the 91% alcohol. Exact same sprayer. It's just filled with nothing but the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to spray it again. And this I use a little bit more because this dries a little bit faster. And you can re-wet it if it... Ooh, this stuff is spreading. Afterwards, ooh, that's strong. And you kind of... This one you kind of want to do a little bit more because obviously it's not going to react real well with the water-based ink because it's not water, it's alcohol. And then we take our piece of cardstock again, and exactly as before, we flip it. I always kind of curve it. And we do this. Now, if at any point the ink starts looking like it's really, really drying, you can just, you know, put it and find which way this is spraying so I don't spray my face. Just wet it again. You know, it's really easy to do. And you just wet it down. And I think I'm going to do something with this background after I get it. Now, if you notice, this, when I flip it over, even though it's gone through a little bit more, because of the alcohol, it's alcohol strong's in here right now. Because of the alcohol, you can see how this majorly warps. It's kind of hard to probably see on the camera. How majorly warped this is from the water. This isn't warping my paper. It's going to bleed through because obviously it's wet, but it gives this incredible, and I mean this is just about dry, incredible marbling technique. I would probably, when I do the next one, it'll be a little different. But it is really, this will be cool for Valentine's Day with lovely lipstick. So I'm going to do it again. It is so neat. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to work. Now, because I have used alcohol for this part, it's a little bit different to clean. You got to use the water to clean off any remaining. And you can just use a different piece of packaging. I just don't feel like getting another piece out right now. Clean off the rest of the lovely lipstick. And the water doesn't interfere with anything, the alcohol that's left on there. Just gets off the rest of the ink because the ink is water-based. And just gets the rest of the ink off. So I have a clear, somewhat clear piece of packaging again. Next piece. So let's do that one again. So this time, I'm going to show something that was really interesting to learn about doing this. The very first one I did was with Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to show you something that's neat with this that you do not get with water. I mean, you can do it if you use different colors, but... Okay, I'm not going to do as much this time. Okay, there's the Coastal Cabana. And here is my alcohol again. We're going to spritz it. When I was pregnant with both my sons, I had this wonderful tendency to get kidney stones. And one of the things, okay, I'm just going to let it fly. And this one is a little bit harder to see because it's so light. One of the things, right after my second son was born, they decided to put a dye in me, and it made me nauseous while they did the x-rays. And so one of the things to stop from being nauseous was give me alcohol. A rubbing alcohol and a cotton ball of smell, and ever since then it really bothers me. But, and I'm going to put this down. This one I didn't do as much, so, but I want to show you this really interesting thing I discovered when I did this. As soon as that dries, this is so cool. I was so amazed when I did this. As this one dries, I started noticing that certain colors were coming out. My screen's off a little bit. Coming out of the color itself as it was drying. And this one's still pretty wet, so I gotta wait for the alcohol to dry a bit. But it was noticing there was tendency colors of like Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive coming out of the ink. And I'm like, well, this is cool. And I didn't do it, I did a little bit with the Lovely, but not as much as it did when I did the Coastal Cabana. I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm off screen right now. So, making up a little bit more of the Coastal. And you could also use one of the aqua painters, maybe not with water, or a brush to mix this around a bit if it helps get it around on your piece of paper. But there we go. It's a little bit better. Ooh, it's sticking to everything. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off. So, this one you can see a little bit better. As it dries, and I'm going to take this real quick and put it in front of my fan to dry the alcohol. And that's the neat thing about it is it dries so much faster that you're not waiting for your project to dry before you can use it. So it was kind of neat. I could do this, put it aside, work on a couple of the other elements, and then, you know, wham, it's dry within just a few minutes, depending on how much alcohol you use. Okay. Now, it was neat, and I don't know how much you're going to see this on the screen. It's not completely dry yet. Yeah, I mean, it's dry enough to use. It's not, nothing is smearing. There is shades of Pear Pizzazz, Old Olive, in this Coastal Cabana, because of course, you know, the base colors to make up the color itself, you know, are in there. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I'm not sure, you can see some of it in the Lovely lipstick, some of the base colors come out that they use to make these colors up, obviously. But I'm like, this is, hey Wendy, I'm glad that I've shared. Oh, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the comments too much. I'm kind of involved in what I'm doing. But I hope this is showing really, really, really well. I'm not sure where my camera is. But it's real hard to see. But you can see the bits of the green coming out of the Coastal Cabana, which is so neat and adds such an incredible detail. You don't get this when you're watercoloring. So, and then what I did on top of this is I took the frosted white, and you can do it with any of the colors. I just happen to like the frosted white because it doesn't cover up the color of the back. The golden stuff would kind of cover it up. And I put it in the spritzer, and I'm shaking it up. And they're labeled too, frost white. So I don't accidentally, I mean, you can tell the gold and copper ones, you can grab them, but the frost, you can't really tell because the paint does settle just a little bit, and that's why you kind of mix it up. And I recommend mix these with water. Do not mix these with alcohol. They do not mix very well, and they do not spray out of the spritzers very well. And I tried new and older spritzers, and they don't spray very well at all. So please do not use, and this one's not even completely dry yet. It is still, this was the water one. This is still, I mean, look how, I mean, it has really made my paper curl. Compare. This is flat, easy to go. This is curled. So, and I don't get the marbling technique as I do with the alcohol. I mean, that is a huge difference on the marbling. And if you want a more deeper color like it is on this was kind of, I did a little too much. I shouldn't have done it that much for the technique. But you get this beautiful, beautiful marbling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I came up with something. I'm not sure if I have. I'm sure other artists out there have done this with alcohol and water-based inks. I don't know. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything anywhere on this. And I'm like, that's how I'm going to do a scrapbook page. I have to do one for my team, a part of my team leader's design team. And I asked her if I could use the gesso, and she goes, well, not really, because it's not a Stampin' Up! Product. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta find a way around this. So this was my way of thinking out of the box. So I'm gonna spray this down on here first, make sure it's coming out. Now this is a very fine mist, but this is gonna spray of the paint. And you want this to, because this is mixed with water, it is going to cause it to curl, and that's where the curling effect comes from when you do this. And I just sprayed my whole desk all painty, and my laptop. How cool! This stuff travels. Let me clean off my front of my laptop here. I have colorful blocks and a laptop with sparkly paint. That I didn't mean to happen. Usually I do it inside of a container or something, but and this is where it curls up a little bit, because as this dries it's going to curl a little bit. But then you can start to see the real color come out now. It's kind of a real deep burnt, kind of reddish. It is so neat. But you just see the waves of the green. But I thought this was an incredible marbling technique. So unless somebody has named this, I'm going to name this the alcohol marbling ink technique. That is so cool. So, but that's what I did for this one, for this card. I'm going to go ahead and quickly put this together. Let's set this aside to dry. Okay, this is dry. This is completely dry and usable. Just like regular paper. Oops, stay there. Get you out of my way, get you out of my way, get you out of my way. So it helps when all those times when you wanted to watercolor on a card, but you were afraid to ruin, and sometimes when you use it, it causes the paper to pill up, and then you've just lost the integrity of your paper completely. So let's go ahead, and I had my snail with cat hair on it, of course, as usual. There's always a cat hair here and there on everything I own that's sticky. And this is just a piece of our silver, whoops, that's gonna stick to everything. Our new silver glimmer paper that does not shed when cut and die cut. And trust, I have done some intricate die cuts with this stuff. And you may get like 1 or 2 pieces, but it does not do what it used to do. And you walk around with glitter all over your face because it's on your hands, and of course your hands touch your face. So it's on a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch. Hi, Chrissy. A piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of the silver glimmer. The Whisper White is, no, that's not 4. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Sorry. The Whisper White is 3 3/4 by 4 7, oh, by 5. I can't remember my measurements. The outside is 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around. I need to write that down. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I'm doing this on the right side that opens. That's why I get a little bit bigger border around the edge of the card. than before. And I am very much OCD about this being straight, but that's okay. So on this card, what I did is I heat embossed the tree from the stamp set. Snow is glistening? Yeah, Snow is Glistening. I heat embossed the tree on a piece of balmy blue paper, cardstock, in silver, and then cut it out. You can either do it by hand or with your trimmer. It doesn't make any difference. And then I die cut one of the snowflakes for the top. I stamped the For You with the balmy blue ink with our stitch shaped framelits. This will be all on my blog tomorrow, so you can find everything I used for this card, and you can click on the items and it will take you to my store and you can order them. I will, of course, not leave the inside naked when I do this. But I really wanted to show you this really cool marbling technique today. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back, and I think, if I can find the right button, right? Ha 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 ha. I think we have switched back. Don't hold me to that, because for some reason, like my fingers are cold. They don't switch back that well. The touch on my iPod Touch doesn't flip back all that well. So I'm waiting for my thing to catch up. Aha, it worked. Okay, we're here. So I'm going to show you this again, and it's kind of hard with these lights. They're kind of bright, especially that one. But this, I mean, it's going to be really hard to see with that light shining on it. But this, that's just plain. This is so amazing. You know, and this one is now dried. And of course, this is curled because of the water from the shimmer paint. But it's very easy just to uncurl again. But, I mean, it doesn't look like this. It's just got a little bend. And this is still very much, I mean, it has gone. Boy, that light is bright, isn't it? If I put it down, then I get really dark. But it has really gone through on this paper. It just wasn't. And then you can tell on the outside of the paper how rough it feels from using water. And that's just because this paper isn't sealed. It is so incredibly smooth for stamping. I have never found better paper to stamp on than Stampin' Up's Whisper White cardstock. And it can thick too. Comes in thick. But of course, no paper, unless it's sealed or it's watercolor paper, can stand up to water. And so that's why I came up with this idea to try to use alcohol in place of the water. So I want to thank you very much for coming today with my live. I will be posting this up on my YouTube channel, Stamping Julie, as long as it will be available here live. And I will have the post tomorrow with my finished card on it. I had that glue on. I think my arm is sticking to it. A finished post with, or card, with my finished card on my post tomorrow with the live as well. So if you want to go back and rewatch it, go right ahead, follow along, try this technique. I think it is so cool. I think I stumbled across something. I truly don't want to take credit if somebody else has done this before. I truly, truly don't. And so if somebody has, I am so sorry. I couldn't find anything on it. But I just wanted to try something really, really neat. You know, and it really, really caused me to think out of the box when I couldn't normally use a product I would just go straight to. But I wanted to show you guys something that you could do just with, just with basic alcohol. And again, I have not tried this with the 70%, and I will try. I have some downstairs. I will try that with the 70%. And the only thing I'm thinking is the fact that it just will take just a few more seconds to dry than the 91. The higher the number with the rubbing alcohol, the faster it's drying. And that's why I like the 91. So, thank you very much for coming today. I hope you learned something. I will be back next week, Thursday. Yeah, because we're going to a Christmas party. Actually, it's a holiday party for where we live. But I will be here next Thursday, the 15th at 3 p.m., bar any technology issues, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, I live in Arizona. So we don't change time like everybody else seems to do in the U.S., except for Hawaii. Hawaii and Arizona are the only two that don't change time zones. So we're always Mountain Standard Time. So when everybody else switches to daylight time, we're still Mountain Standard Time, which in that case matches Pacific Daylight Time. So this past weekend, we switched to Mountain Standard Time. So now we are Mountain Time, and it's 1 hour ahead of Pacific Time. I love the fact that I don't have to change all my clocks, but then I have to remember in my head, oh, Eastern is now only 2 hours ahead of me instead of 3. So now my parents who live in California are now an hour behind me, and I've got to remember that whenever I call or anything. In fact, today is their 50th golden wedding anniversary of my parents, and I've got to call them and wish them happy anniversary. 50 years, oh my gosh. My husband and I just literally celebrated 2 days ago our 18th wedding anniversary and 25 years together. So, it's actually kind of amazing. And I will recommend anybody, any newlyweds, anybody out there, the 3 things that go with a long marriage, and I've learned from my parents, my brother who's been married, this 20-something years for him too. I think it's this is his 25th or 6th this year. I have learned 3 things about a successful marriage is communication, compromise, which is huge, and forgiveness. Nothing works better on a marriage than those 3 things. That's my advice. True. Compromise is huge. And forgiveness and letting things go, as most women like to hold grudges. So, but thank you very much for joining me today. Again, here's the cute card. You're not going to see it because the light is so... I got to fix this light. But oh, it shines. You can see the embossing on it shine. Haha. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you had a great time. I will get this downloaded and uploaded on everything so you can see it. It will be available here on Facebook Live within a few seconds of me ending it. So, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And happy birthday to Stampin' Up! 30th. Woohoo! I so wish I was in Orlando right now. They're getting so many goodies. But I am going to On Stage Local in April. I don't know where it's going to be yet, but I'm going to be there. So, and we're able to do live things, so I'm going to jump on live on my page and get to show you guys the things that we're doing. So I can't wait for that. So I'll talk to you guys all later. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a good weekend coming up. And thank you very much. Bye-bye. See if I can do this without... I don't think I can. Woohoo. Where's the button? There it is.